back to Mika Reacting Reviews, reacting review to things on the internet. And today we are going to be doing another breakdown and review of the documentary Social Dilemma. So let's get right into it. But before you do, if you like to have your videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below. And also in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below, and links to all the alternative platforms, my social medias, including my Twitter. All the ways to support me and all the ways to contact me for business is always in the links down below. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I think when you hear the word social dilemma, I think we all kind of understand what that kind of means, because I don't think there's any secret that social media has been a really big problem, especially with the younger generation and especially with the polarization that we see today in society. But to actually hear it from the mouths of the people that either started the social media platforms, or CEOs of these social media platforms, or was in charge or heads of things like the algorithm, to hear them talk about it and giving you sort of the data and the statistics, it really does expose the toxicity and the dark side of social media platforms and even internet search engines like Google. And that's pretty much the main focus of Social Dilemma, is Google and Facebook. They do hit on all of social media platforms in general, but those were the two that they really hyper focused on. There was a lot of different phrases and words that were used throughout this documentary that really interest me. So I made notes, so don't mind me if I'm looking down. One of the phrases that was said was, there is a handful of people in tech controlling billions of people on this planet. An elected handful of people of tech, by the way. And another thing was that a lot of people in the Silicon Valley and tech are actually terrified to speak out. Even the people that were a part of the documentary seemed really hesitant to speak out, saying things like, I really had to talk to my lawyer to make sure everything I was saying wasn't gonna get me thrown in jail or in a lot of hot water. But that there has been people sort of sounding the alarm, sending out memos and saying like, look, we're going down a dangerous road, we probably should pull back, and it just have fallen on deaf ears because money talks. They talked about the rise of addiction to technology and social media platforms. They talked about the rise in isolation, which is really funny because social media and the internet is supposed to bring us closer together, you know what I mean, like one global world, but actually it just makes people feel more divided and isolated. And they talked about the polarization on both sides. Throughout the video, we heard from people who are part of startups, CEOs, inventors, people that were completely head in charge of platforms in the algorithm system. Like, these are the people that would know what's going on.
I was the co-inventor of the Facebook like button.
I was the president of Pinterest,
Google, Twitter, Instagram.
They talked about how Silicon Valley and places like Google have made trillions, that these people are fucking filthy rich. And they talked about our data and that they were saying, do not believe the hype. Your shit is being tracked. Every single thing we do, every single thing we look at, every single thing we put online is being tracked and recorded.
What I want people to know is that everything they're doing online is being watched, is being tracked. Every single action you take is carefully monitored and recorded. Tracked,
Recorded, and measured. They can tell if you're lonely, they can tell if you're depressed, they can tell if you're looking at your ex's photos online. You know how we like to internet stalk our exes, right? They can tell how long you've been on the internet, and they can predict your behavior. Now let's go back to the whole data collecting thing, because we all remember that whole thing that happened with Facebook where like there was a data breach or something like that, and it was exposed that a lot of our data is being sold, which I don't think was like a big surprise to most people. But unlike a lot of companies where things are the products, when it comes to social media and the internet, we are the product. Our eyes, our attention is basically what advertisers buy. We are the product. Because if something's free, it's not really free. We're paying with our attention, our emotions, our minds, our freaking insanity when we go crazy with the shit that we see online. And that is a big thing. Data is the big thing. Advertisers are the big thing. Their goal is to keep you online as long as possible, and they will do anything it takes to get you to not to click off the social media apps, right? And because their goal is to make as much money for their advertisers. So when they claim that they don't want children or adolescents or young girls to be addicted to social media, and they do things like give us lip service or pandering, like taking away the dislike button, or when you're on Instagram, it tells you that you've seen everything and you want to still be online. That thing is kind of put there just to please the public, but they're like, do not fall for it. Their goal is to get you hooked and addicted. But however, collecting your data and selling it to advertisers, or selling us, our eyes and our engagement, to advertisers is not the end goal whatsoever. Facebook, Google, Instagram, TikTok, they're not just giving your data away and saying bye-bye to it and they never see it again. They keep that data, and they keep it for a reason. They are basically trying to create an avatar of each individual so they can program you, which is the scariest part. They want to understand what makes you tick. They want to understand what triggers you. They want to understand your psychology so they can persuade your behavior. Gradually changing your perception is the product, is the ultimate goal.
A lot of people think Google's just a search box and Facebook's just a place to see what my friends are doing. What they don't realize is there's entire teams of engineers whose job is to use your psychology against you.
They are people, they are lobbyists, not just advertisers. There are powerful people that pay millions and millions and millions of dollars to places like Facebook and Google because they want to have control over your mind, over your perception, over how you think. They basically want to be able to control the next generation because they want to control society. So we can program you how we want you to be, then we can kind of control how society transforms, how society evolves. They literally hire expertise, people who went to college, universities, got degrees in these fields. Every person they were saying that are in charge of algorithms and data and programs and CEOs and the startup, people are part of the startup, they're all trained in this. They're all trained to understand each individual's psychology and how to manipulate them. The other goal is to try to create a society and a generation that online connection and online communication is the primary form of communication and relationships. Again, disconnecting each person so they can put them in a bubble so they have more control of their perception and perspective of the world. One of the people in the documentary actually used the word matrix, basically saying we are plugging an entire population, or at least a whole generation, into the matrix.
If everyone's entitled to their own facts, there's really no need for people to come together. In fact, there's really no need for people to interact.
And because they're able to program you and manipulate your perception, it's like they want to know what makes you tick, but they also want to create the thing that makes you tick. They want to know what's your triggers, but they also want to create the thing that is your triggers. They want to know what your values are and your morals are and your standards are and your ideologies are, but they also want to create what your values and your morals and your ideologies are. So it becomes even harder to understand what is you and what has just been fed to you and brainwashed into you, and you just regurgitated it back out.
We have less control over who we are and what we really believe.